All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here this evening and for waiting patiently while we let some folks join. I will tell everyone now, we have a very full agenda tonight, 3 zoning items on the docket, as well as many other things to share. So we are going to make sure we're keeping an eye on time this evening, just to make sure we can get through everything within that kind of 90-minute limit that we have for these monthly meetings. So without further ado, we will actually be bumping our treasurer's report to the end of our meeting. Our treasurer had to stay late at work. He's a bit caught up, so he'll join us toward the end of the meeting and we'll share the reports then. So if you're very interested in treasurer reports, I do suggest you stay till the end of the meeting. Otherwise, we'll actually go ahead and jump into our zoning items. Again, I said we have 3 of those. So we're going to start that process. I do see some new names here, so I'm just going to give everyone a really quick rundown of what this process looks like. We allot 15 minutes for each of the items, so that'll be 15 minutes each for each of the 3. And during that period, it's broken up into 3 5-minute sections. So the first 5 minutes, we ask the developer or the property owner to share information about the variances that they are requesting. For the second 5 minutes, we will take questions from the group about those variances, and Tate, our zoning chair, will be documenting those on the screen. So he'll pull up a Word document that everyone can see that will list the variances that are being requested, and as you ask questions, he will document those. So we won't have the developer or the applicant answer your question right then and there. We'll collect them all to make sure we don't have any duplicates, and then we'll spend the final 5 minutes allowing them to answer those questions and respond. And then, of course, at the end of each, we will take a vote for anyone who is a member and paid membership dues on or before July 14th of this year, which would be account for the 21-day waiting period. I do ask that everyone remain respectful, don't talk over one another. If you do have a question during the period, please use the raise hand feature if you can. But if that's not working out for you, no worries. We'll certainly open the floor and make sure everyone gets a chance to ask their questions. So without further ado, Tate, I'll turn the floor over to you. And the order we're going to do these in tonight is 361 Siebert, 232 Thurman, and then 460 Stewart. So Tate, all yours.
Perfect. Thanks, Jess. And thanks everybody for being here. Like Jess said, I'm going to try to keep things as brief as possible. So we'll just jump right in. 361 Siebert is our first one. I'll let the applicants introduce themselves and have that time to introduce the application. I believe Dave Perry is here, and I'll let him take it away. Dave, we cannot hear you.
Try that. Now?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. As you were saying that, Tate, I was asking if everybody could hear me. It seems like I always need to fool around a little bit with the microphone connection. So, okay. Yeah, I'm Dave Perry, and on the Zoom meeting also is Carrick Sherrill. Carrick is the project architect on both 361 Siebert and 232 Thurman. We're on Siebert right now. And I am consulting with the developer on both projects, so you'll hear from me and Carrick on both applications. Tate, can am I able to share screen, or do I need permission from somebody?
You should be able to, Jess, can give you access.
Yep, should be good to go.
Okay, just a moment. Okay. Okay, do you all see aerial photography for Siebert?
Yes, we do.
Okay, very good, thank you. Okay, 361 Siebert. Street is located on the south side of Siebert Street, east of Brook Street, and across the street from Siebert Elementary. My cursor is located on the site, and the site includes the house that my cursor is on. I'm going to flip through some different slides for the presentation. This is a little closer shot, and also at winter without the tree cover from the auditor's GIS. The site is as outlined.
Dave, you're on the auditor's site, not on your PDF.
Okay, let's try this again then. Okay, there we go. Thank you, Kara. Aerial photo, quickly, I'll just repeat. The site is 361 Siebert. It is east of Brook and across the street from Siebert Elementary. The site is zoned R2F. This is a little different view with the auditor's GIS. So winter shot because there's no trees on the, no leaves on the trees. The site is developed with a single family dwelling and detached garage. The R2F district in the Columbus zoning code permits single and two family dwellings. This particular lot is 72 feet wide and is unusually wide for Merion Village. This is the existing parcel with the existing house and detached garage. It does not abut an alley, so it presently has a driveway from Siebert Street. It's a little different shot. That's auditor's GIS that you already saw. And here's our site plan. We have an application to the City Board of Zoning Adjustment, application BZA 22-082, to split this parcel and build a second single-family dwelling. The red line is the proposed split line, and you'll note it's at the center line of the existing driveway. The existing garage for the existing house is located at the southeast corner of the parcel. That would remain and be the detached garage for the new home located here with my cursor. The existing house, a new second garage will be built as depicted. So the variance request is to split the parcel as indicated by the red line. And let's see, let's switch to Carrick for a moment. Tell me what slide you want up on the architecture.
Probably just the elevations.
Elevations first, okay.
Yeah. So this is the proposed single family home that would go on the blank part of the parcel that's split off. It's a 2.5 story, 24-foot wide single family with a covered third floor exterior terrace and a sizable front porch. There are other 2.5 story homes, quite a number of them in the neighborhood. So in terms of size and mass, it's complementary. The style of the architecture, the front elevation has a little bit of a modern, glazing panel twist to it. But other than that, it's a fairly standard siding single family. I think that's probably about all it got. The garage is, as you, the sheet up, Dave, is the garage is just kind of a standard 22 by 20 garage.
Okay, thank you. All right, and then let's see, materials, fiber cement, lap siding, roofing materials, and so on. If there are any questions about materials, I'm trying to be sensitive to the 5 minutes, Tate. If there are any questions about materials, we can come back to that. And then here is the variance request. Tate, I will tell you one thing. This has been updated from what you have based on Carrick and I getting the survey back after the application was submitted. And I'll tell you as I go through this what was updated. Variance number 1, again, we are splitting a lot down the center of the driveway. So variance number 1 It is an 11.5-foot wide driveway, which meets the city code for the 10-foot minimum. But since it's split down the middle, there's half on each side, approximately half on each side and half on the other and so on. So there's a variance to driveway width, even though the total width is provided. There's a variance to maneuvering for a couple of the garage spaces, area A, because the maneuvering area will cross the new property line, but the total code required maneuvering area is provided. Variance number 3 applies to virtually every lot in Merion Village. The current city code lot width requirement is 50 feet. These will be approximately 36 feet each. The current R2F area district requirement is 6,000 square feet for either single family or two family. Again, Merion Village was developed before there was a city zoning code. The current requirement is 6,000 feet. There are very few lots in Merion Village that comply with that. So there's a variance to area to reduce lot area to 3,500 and 3,300 for areas A and B. That's the existing house and the proposed house. Area B, the new house, has a minor variance to lot coverage for 50% to 52%. And then Tate, this is what is added, number 6. Building lines, and I'm going to go back to this site plan to illustrate that for everybody.
And then when you're done with that, Dave, could you leave it on that? I'm updating my request for vote. I'll have the updated up when we go over questions.
Yes, certainly. So when the site plan was submitted, we were using GIS dimensions, and since then we have obtained a survey. And so number 6, variance to building lines, the residential city code has a minimum building line of 10 feet, regardless of any what's called a calculated building line. And you'll note the house to the east of us is 6.4 feet, but we can't use that setback or anything less than 10 without a variance. So the existing single family dwelling is at 8.6. Again, it's an existing condition predating the zoning code requirement. Carrick has designed the new house to be at 8.7, so these are essentially lined up. And so number 6, Tate, is the addition of the building line setback variance to permit the existing house at 8.6 feet and the new house at 8.7 rather than the minimum of 10 feet. So I will leave that up for you now.
Okay, and does that conclude your presentation, Dave?
Yes, that's it.
All right, give me 1 second. You're testing my writing ability, my typing ability, and then I will put this up for questions. So just give me 1 second, folks, to update the point 6.
While Tate is getting that prepared, folks, if anybody does have questions and you want to go ahead and put your hand up in Zoom, please feel free to do that. Otherwise, as I said, once Tate is ready, we will certainly open the floor for anyone who may not be able to get that feature to work. We have all been there, so.
And it will be a little bit of abbreviated, just heads up.
I can email that document to you, Tate, if you like.
No, it's okay. I got the gist of it.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and share. If you want to stop sharing, Dave, and I'll go ahead and share mine. We can go get into questions.
There we go. Okay.
Thank you, Dave. And thank you, Carrick. 1 second. All righty. Can we see my screen there?
Yep.
All right.
All right, I don't see any hands up yet. Anyone joining us that would like to ask questions? I see some folks joining us by phone. If anyone would like to ask, please feel free to unmute yourself and jump in. Okay.
Hey, Jess, this is Tom. I just add a quick comment that this did go through city staff review, and we do have those review results. I sent those to Tate earlier today, but the only substantive one was, or not even substantive in terms of comment, was just the traffic management on the access comment for the maneuvering, and Dan Moorhead at the city had no comment on that, since that's one that's typically more reviewed by the city. So that it doesn't seem an issue for him.
Thank you for sharing that, Tom.
Yep.
Okay, going once. It does not appear we have any questions with respect to this application. So if that is the case, we will go ahead and move right into the voting portion. All right, Tate, you're up first. And for anyone who has not voted previously, you can choose to vote yes, no, or abstain on all items. You can vote specific on items 1 through 6. Tate, if you wouldn't mind just zooming in a little bit, just so the font's a bit bigger for folks so they can recall what it is they're voting on. But again, you can vote as a group or you can vote individually. It's up to each person. So Tate, you are first.
All righty, I vote to support all 6.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, next up, let's see here. Kevin Parzich.
In favor of the variances.
Wonderful, thank you very much, Kevin. All right, Kyle Green.
I also vote yes on all of them.
Thank you very much. Okay, who's next here? Mike Pykuch.
Yes on all 6.
Thank you very much, Mike. Rhoda Cooperschmidt.
Yes on all.
Thanks, Rhoda. All right, Steve David.
Yeah, I'm in favor of all 6.
Thank you very much. Tom Less.
Yes to all.
Thank you. Zach Rybar.
I vote yes on all 6. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Now I see a couple folks joining on phone. I'm not sure if any of you are current members, but if there's anyone that believes I may have missed them, please let me know. Lena, I think you are probably here on phone, maybe? Okay, maybe not. Anyone that I may have missed? All right, then the count for this is 9 votes in favor of all 6 items, no abstained, and no one objecting. So this one moves forward.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jess.
Yep, thank you.
And Dave, don't get too comfortable because you got another one here.
I'm just shifting papers around. I'm good.
Okay, perfect. And the next one, I believe, is the next one 232 Thurman?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, okay. All right, and feel free to go ahead and start on that one.
Okay, let's see if I can get this right this time. Okay, we'll share again. The site is 232 Thurman, and you have Garrick Sherrill, project architect, and me on the call again. So do we see aerial photography? Garrick?
We do.
Okay.
You got it this time.
I got it. Okay. I think I'm about a month rusty on Zoom meetings, so it's showing. Okay, 232 Thurman. This site is outlined on the aerial photography that you're seeing. It is at Thurman and Blackberry Alley, and the street on the left is Jaeger. This property, as is almost all of Merion Village, also zoned R2F residential. And the proposal is to split this parcel. It has an existing house on the Thurman frontage. Let me scroll through some of this. Here we go. So different view from the auditor's GIS, the existing house, 232 Thurman, and there's a gravel parking area at the back. There are many split parcels in Merion Village. And just for reference, in this small aerial photography only, just this small area, this parcel, this parcel, this parcel, this parcel. This 242 Thurman went through on a variance some time ago, and then the parcel directly north are all split parcels with dwellings on the street frontage and the alley. So 232 Thurman, let's see, there's the view of 232 Thurman from the ground shot, and this is Blackberry Alley. View of the site, the house, and to the west towards Jaeger. And the rear of the parcel, this adjacent property is a dwelling, and then the 242 Thurman is the next parcel. And then this parcel is a separate dwelling on a split lot adjacent to Blackberry on the west side of Blackberry. So we have variance application BZA 22083 pending for this application, addressed as 232 Thurman. And the proposal is to split the lot to build 2 new houses. The existing house fronting Thurman would be removed and 2 new houses built by splitting the parcel. You can see on the screen the red line is the approximate split line. The 2 new houses would have a 2-car attached garage, both providing maneuvering into Blackberry Alley for the parking spaces. And we have variances that I'll come back to on that. Carrick, let me go to the renderings. There we go.
So the architecture on this one is fairly similar to the other, except for the fact that we are kind of maintaining a more traditional front elevation for both the Thurman elevation and the Red Bud elevation. The Blackberry elevation also probably has a little bit more detail than what you would normally see on a home like this that is, you know, a lot closer to an existing building. If you go to the next page, Dave, you know, both the buildings are complementary, very similar. The terrace, the covered terrace on the 3rd floor actually flips so that both are facing north towards the city and not towards each other. So that kind of, I guess that does create a more interesting elevation on the north elevation facing the alley, where you can, you know, basically see the open area above the 3rd floor for the terrace. And I think that's about all on this one.
Okay, very good. Similar materials, it looks like.
Yep, same materials.
Okay, so on variances, we have, and Tate, this has not changed from what you got with the application. Variance number 1 is the usual variance to reduce lot width from 50 feet to 33 feet, 50 feet being the current code requirement. Number 2, R2F area district requirements to reduce lot area from 6,000 square feet to 2,600 and 3,000 for areas A and B. Those correspond to the 2 lots after being split. We have a small increase in lot coverage for area A from 50% to 54%. In this case, we have a fronting variance because the rear house or the house at Blackberry Alley and Redbud Alley does not front on a public street. They are public right-of-way, they are public alleys, but by city definition of right-of-way width being less than 35 feet, they are not streets. But the Midtown area with Merion Village and all of the older neighborhoods have many alleys that functions as streets. In this case, let's see, number 5, we have a minor maximum side yard variance for both area A and B from 6.76 feet to 6 feet. And we have a rear yard variance for area B to reduce from 25% to 20%. And let me jump back to the site plan just a moment. And area B is the Thurman Avenue house for purposes of those variance citations. Area A is the north house fronting Redbud Alley and Blackberry Alley. So that is our presentation. Tate, I'll go back to the variance list.
All right, thank you both. If you want to go ahead and stop sharing, I'll share my screen, and then we
Okay,
will
there
get
we go.
started with the questions. In the meantime, if you want to start raising your hand if you have a question.
Okay, no hands yet.
Everybody see that okay?
Yep. All right, I do see a hand raised. Oh, I see two hands raised. Just a moment here. Let me go up. Steve David.
Yeah, thanks so much, Jess. So sorry I didn't get to this on the first presentation, but Dave and Carrick, I'm wondering if you guys could just tell us a little bit about yourselves and your operation. Like, who are you? You know, Columbus based, or and just to orient us a bit to what you're doing.
Okay, sure. Dave Perry, David Perry Company. I'm a consultant on rezoning variances and other entitlement aspects for developer clients. I was quite some time ago. I was about 12 years with the city of Columbus, and I've been consulting about 24 years now. So my work is on representing zoning and variance applications.
I'm Carrick Sherrill with the Columbus Design Company. I own a small architectural firm that was founded just about 3 years ago. It'll be 3 years in October. We focus primarily in the urban core of the city and its adjacent neighborhoods, doing everything from single families on infill lots to large multifamily developments. One that's currently going on that you might be familiar with is the Deal Whitaker site at Long and Hamilton in the King Lincoln district. So that's kind of the spectrum of the work that we do, but all of it is primarily heavy into zoning and the challenges of tight urban sites.
Thank you, Dave
Awesome.
and Carrick,
Thanks
for
so
sharing.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks so much, gentlemen.
Thank you for asking the question. It's Carrick and I work a lot together, and I would say I think that's probably the second time in years that we've been asked about us.
All right, I see a couple more hands up. So we'll call on them. We'll go ahead and document these next questions first, and then Dave and Carrick, we will put them all together for you to answer once we've gathered them all. So I'm going to have Tom Less and then Rita Hilsheimer, please.
All right, thanks. Sorry, Jess. I was trying to upload a thing. So I did upload for everyone's usage here the staff review for this one. There's a little bit of something I'd like to just have the applicant address, and it's mostly in response to the city comments. And I'll kind of read directly here. And I put the staff review in the chat window, so everyone should be able to access it. But their comment was, the planning division supports the lot split for the addition of the new residential unit, but does not support the demolition of the existing contributing single unit dwelling. So how are you guys going to deal with that, or have you cleared this through the city? And then just for everyone else's purpose, there's two separate kind of applications that we'll go through here. One is for this, which is the lot split, and then they will need to submit a separate demolition application that would be approved or not approved by the city, separate from, I think, the lot split. And Dave, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong about any of that. But Just how are you kind of handling that, given that the city staff did not approve of the demolition, at least in their initial review?
Thank you, Tom.
Well, sure. Thanks, Tom. There is this variance application.
Dave, not to stop you, we're gonna collect questions first, and then we'll let you.
Oh, I
answer
see. Okay,
those.
thanks for the reminder.
Yep,
No,
just
you're
want to
fine.
make sure we can capture everyone's questions. Rita, are you still with us? If you are here, Rita, we cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, sorry about that. Yes, I am at 241 Redbud Alley, so I would be the house that's currently at the rear of, and the adjacent or next door to 232 Thurman Avenue. I'm also currently living through the building that's going on the other side of my home, which got approved and has created not only havoc but damage to my property. I'm very concerned about the nearness of this home next door to my actual house. You said, Dave, can you explain to me the actual distance that this new build home would be from my actual property line in feet?
And we'll have him answer that at the end, Rita. So just before we
I'd
kind of,
appreciate it, yeah, because
Okay.
I understand it sounds like a 6 foot total, but it looked like in the plans that it was 3 foot from my actual home, and I wanted clarification on that. I'm concerned because when they were digging out the basement next door on the other side, the ground collapsed, my driveway, part of it collapsed, my fencing on my electronic gate collapsed. I'm more concerned now about my dirt basement collapsing and my foundation giving out on my home, so near being dug up. That just is very concerning to me. Is there a basement plan on this home also? That's another question I have. And the variance asks, whether the property owners were aware of the code and variance needs prior to purchase. Absolutely, they were. So I don't understand why anyone should give a variance when this was in force prior to purchase. So why should a variance be approved? And why that couldn't have been thought of before purchase rather than ask for variances and changes to the laws afterwards. It also asks whether.
Rita, I'm sorry to cut you off. We do want to keep in mind of time. Did you have a third question, or did you have any other comment? We want to keep it to just questions and then moving forward. So do you have another question,
Yes,
Rita?
I do. It asks whether it would substantially, let's see, whether the variance is substantial or if it would substantially alter the adjoining properties. I want to know how that wouldn't substantially alter my property specifically.
Rita, thank you, Rita. And I was going to leave your address off, but just because your questions pertain to it, could we just clarify your address so I can just put that in so they could better answer your question?
Oh, yes, I'm at 24. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
did
I
you
know
say-
which house it is.
Okay, that's fine then.
Yep.
I'll leave you off then.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Rita. Any other questions?
No, those were the primary. Obviously, there are more,
Thank you.
but not in this time.
Thank you, Rita. And for the group, any other questions, or are we able to move into answers, Jess?
don't see any other hands raised. So just quick check, anyone else on the phone that may not be able to raise the hand that has questions? Okay, we can move into the answer period.
Okay, very good. Okay, so on Tom Less, on process, this is a variance application for applicable variances that will lead to city approval of a lot split. You are correct. A separate application will be needed for the demolition. That will be made per city process with a licensed demolition contractor, and it will be sent to the area commission for review. That demolition application has not been submitted yet, Tom, but yes, you are correct. There will be this variance application and then the demolition permit. Does that cover the question on process?
Yeah, on process, that's the way I thought it was going to go. And then the other piece would be just how you're addressing the staff comments.
Yep. Okay. Okay. Yes, the staff supports the lot split and the construction of the new house. They are quoting a section of the C2P2 document that generally states that existing housing stock should be preserved. We've given that a considerable amount of thought, and the building there is it's not individually listed. It's not in a historic district, and we've had a review of the architecture, and while it is representative of the time period, it's not a particularly outstanding example of architecture, and it is the style of architecture is represented by many other homes in the area. So the planning staff response comes from the C2P2 document and is a pretty general response from the planning staff. There are some things with this particular home with a second floor that has a very low ceiling. I understand it's less than 7 feet, that make it less desirable than it might be with a new home. So the planning staff has made that recommendation. It's not binding on us as representatives or the future builder, but that's our response at this point. So they've made a response that they would prefer the house to stay. They support the lot split and the new construction. So the only outstanding issue, so to speak, is their opinion that the house should stay, and we would prefer to remove it. Given the circumstances of not being individually registered and not in a historic district, and being representative of a theme of architecture that was applicable to the time period, but not unique to the time period or the Merion Village neighborhood, our client is interested in moving forward with removing the house. So go on to Rita's comments.
Yes,
Yes,
please.
please.
Thank you.
Okay, sure thing. Rita, construction is messy for a time, and then it's over. I'm sorry if it's been disruptive to you, but it will be over. If there is damage to your property, I would appreciate you sending me an email with documentation of that, and let's see what that is. On your question of new build side yard, the side yard, let me first start with the city code on side yard calculation. Side yard calculation is 20% of the lot width, subject to certain maximums which are not applicable to this case. But the lot is 33 and a fraction. The 3 feet is the minimum. It is slightly wider, 33 and a fraction wide, so 20% of 33 and a fraction. I don't have the decimal in front of me, but that's the variance of 6.7626. So the minimum side yard adjacent to your property is being provided, a 3-foot side yard or less is very typical of Merion Village and the older city neighborhoods. And there's that 20% issue of 0.76. So even if that was provided, or even if it was split adjacent to your property, we're talking about 3 or 4 tenths of a foot difference. On the, I'm going to have to check. I'm going to come back to your other questions, but I'm going to check with Carrick about the basement.
So yes, there is a basement to this project, and the actual side yard adjacent to 241 Redbud is greater than 5 feet. So honestly, Dave, I'm not sure why you're citing that variance, because we have a total of greater than 8 feet of side yard combined. So maybe I don't understand it, but I don't think we need the side yard variance. But we certainly have greater than 5 feet from the east property line on both of the proposed parcels.
Okay, well, we'll
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to confuse you.
It's shown as 3 feet, Carrick. So if it's going to be 5, then that's fine. We'll revise the site plan, but it's shown as 3 feet on the site plan, which is why I cited the sum of the two. So let me go back to, so it does have a basement. Let me go back to side yard with Rita. You know, we certainly don't have access to a survey for your property, but I'm going by the auditor's GIS. And again, keep in mind that 3-foot side yards or 2 feet or 1 feet or even 0 is very common in the older parts of the city. And it looks to me like the west wall of your house is right on your property line. So you're at 0 or a couple inches or something. So you are immediately adjacent to your property line with the west wall of your house. We can't change that. We can provide the minimum on the new house on the subject site, the 232 Thurman, but we can't change obviously the location of your house on your parcel. So your house is not in compliance with the 3-foot minimum, and that's not unusual in the older parts of the city. Let me see, what else did we have?
I just want to move along just to get the final question. Would this substantially alter adjoining property? And I think that can just be a kind of a quick answer there.
Yeah, well, no hardship needs to be shown. There are various standards, one of them practical difficulty, one of them whether the variance is substantial, one of them whether it will alter the essential character of the neighborhood, whether it affects delivery of government services and other things. And I feel the answer to all of those is emphatically no. I can show you many split parcels. I can show you many parcels that don't comply with the district area requirements. I can show you many parcels with 3 feet or less of side yard, et cetera. So no, I don't feel that it is impactful relative to those standards for review.
Okay, thank you guys so much. Tom? Tom, you're muted.
I just wanted to comment real quick. By the way, I'm the area commissioner for Merion Village. Sorry if you don't know me. That's why I kind of tend to speak up a little bit more here.
We appreciate you.
For Rita, just as a kind of other processes, some of these are talking about variances, and then your other issues that you brought up, which are serious issues, are to do with the damage to your home by adjacent construction. That is a very different thing from the variance stuff, but that is a very serious thing. Also, if a contractor is operating on a parcel adjacent to yours and it damages your parcel in any way, they are liable for that. So the developer or contractor may be held liable for damage to your property. that is something that we can address through the city. That is also something that you can address directly with the agency or owner. I would say we can start with a 311. We can also talk to Nancy Pryor-Sully on a code compliance item, and then the next step too would be, you know, the documentation, and you can make a claim there. So that should not happen. If the contractor is doing the work as they should be doing, you should not, you know, have damage to adjacent properties. But if that does occur, there are remedies for that. So just a, I guess, process thing, but that is kind of separate. That is a code compliance, and that is a liability thing for the construction company, which is a little bit separate from a zoning issue. So I don't know if that helps at all, but hopefully it does. And I'd be happy to connect with you to help you go through some of those avenues if you need it.
Thank you, Tom. And I'll offer also that the city is not going to get involved with whether a contractor, this is just an example, but you know, if a contractor dropped a piece of plywood against the siding of her house or something, but and it's not a zoning issue, but if those issues are occurring, please either you or Rita contact me about what they are and provide some documentation of it. Neither Carrick nor I are the builder or developer, but I will try to facilitate that discussion.
Rita, if you could actually send us an email, just if you just want to send it to president@merionvillage.org, I can get you connected with both Dave and Tom.
Yep.
Okay, looks like we've gotten through our questions and responses. Appreciate everyone on that. So we're going to move forward into the voting portion. I'm going to go through the names again. Again, you can vote on all 6 items as a group, or you can vote individually. Please just let me know when I call on you, and we'll work through this as quickly as we can. Tate, you're up first.
Sorry, yes to all.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, Kevin Parzich.
Supporting all the variances, yes.
Thank you very much. Kyle Green.
Yes to all.
Thank you. Mike Pykuch.
I'm going to abstain from these.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Give me 1 second, folks. Just got to make a quick little note here. Okay, Rada Cooperschmidt.
Yes.
Yes
to
to all?
everything.
Okay, thank you very much, Rada. Steve David.
Yes to all. Thanks.
Thank you. Tom Less.
Yes, Tom.
All right, and Zach Rybark.
In support of all.
Thank you. And Eric has joined us, Eric Stegmoller.
Yes to all.
All right, I believe I captured everyone. Let me just take a quick peek here. Is there anyone that I may have missed? Okay, in that case, we have 8 votes in support of all items, no opposed, and 1 abstention for each. So this one moves forward as well. Thanks, folks, for presenting and for all of your questions.
Yep. Very good. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Okay. Thank you both, and then we'll move on to our last one of the evening, 460 Stewart. I believe I see Janice there, so I'll let you take the stage there.
All right, great. Can you hear me?
It's a little unstable on my end. I don't know if that's just me.
Yeah, you're breaking up a bit, Janice. You may want to try keeping your video off and see if that helps your bandwidth, possibly. Janice, did we lose you? Okay, seems like Janice may be having some connection issues. Okay, well, here's what we're going to do. We will break on this and just kind of give Janice a chance to jump out and jump back in. Up there she is. Let's see if that's... Hi, Janice.
I apologize. Can you hear me now?
We can. If you start to have any breakup, you may just want to turn your video off, see if that improves your bandwidth, but you seem okay now, so you're good to go.
Okay, I thought I was clear for the last 50 some minutes. Okay. I am Jan Wilkins.
Janice, I'm afraid we are losing you again. Okay, Janice, could you possibly try calling in over the phone to see if that might improve your audio? I am afraid she can no longer hear me. All right, 1 second, folks. We'll get Janice connected. And then, Janice, can you hear me now? Okay, 1 second, folks. I'm going to send Janice a chat, which hopefully she'll be able to see, and then hopefully we can come back. 1 moment. Okay, I'm going to just temporarily stop her share. I sent her a message, so hopefully she can hear that we're not able to hear her. We're going to just move on to a couple of the smaller items, and then once she can get connected, we'll jump right back into this. So 1 second here, folks. Okay, let's talk quickly about the sorry, I need to catch up where we are. Let's talk quickly about the Good Neighbor Agreement that we have proposed and potentially been discussing with some local neighbors who live around the Mid-City Garage area. There were some concerns that came up about loud music and some potential issues with patrons. So the folks from Mid-City did meet with us and neighbors at a special meeting last month, and we are having some discussions to see what their ownership might be able to do to help improve some of the concerns. So once we've connected with them more and gotten some potential resolution and maybe a draft of a Good Neighbor Agreement, we'll bring that to a monthly meeting for folks and ask everyone to vote on it so we can potentially enact that. So stay tuned for more information on that one.
Just sorry
Yes.
To ask instead of raise my hand.
Okay.
Question about that meeting because I attended, and the owner of the building, and it sounds like the person, it just felt like the most important people were not there. So is it something like, who's going to be signing that? You know what I mean? That's where I'm confused.
So the owner of the building, it's kind of an interesting discussion. I know that some of the neighbors were hoping that the owner of the building would be present, although with the concerns primarily being related to the operation of the business and not the building itself, I don't know.
So maybe even the business owner, right?
Correct.
Like the business owner wasn't even there.
Correct. And we didn't know, we knew that they wouldn't be because the leadership team specifically from that location is who participated. But apparently the owner is the one that has to sign off on everything. So I don't know that we'll have another full meeting, but if we do have the Good Neighbor Agreement proposed, what I will do is I will ask the two folks who did attend, Taylor and Frankie, if they could ask the owner to join that meeting as well, at least for the portion of kind of coming to a Good Neighbor Agreement.
Thank you. Okay, thank you for that clarification. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Okay, Janice is still not joined us again, so hoping she can make it back, but we will figure out what the next step is there. Tate, I don't know if you want to try to email her and see if she could call in. I don't know if she saw my chat, but I'm hoping she can make it back before the meeting wraps up. Okay, moving on, we will touch on Merion Village Green Spot neighborhoods. So some of you who joined us, I believe it was just last month, we had a presentation from the gentleman who kind of heads up Green Spot for the city of Columbus. And one of their programs includes Green Spot neighborhoods, where a neighborhood collectively can commit to initiatives for sustainability and eco-friendly practices within the neighborhood. It's a 3-year commitment. There's a lot of really interesting things that happen with that. And so we have basically asked folks to join us for kind of an exploratory committee to see if that's something that, people in Merion Village want to pursue. So we have our inaugural meeting for that committee coming up. It's going to be over Zoom. It is next Wednesday at 7 p.m. We did post that on Facebook today and on Nextdoor. Anyone is welcome to join and see if they want to help continue that conversation and see how we could potentially proceed with the application. So if you are interested in sustainability, composting, recycling, maybe getting trees planted, anything that kind of helps promote, sustainability and eco-friendly living in the neighborhood, please do join that meeting. It would be important for, folks in the neighborhood really to want to participate for us to pursue that application. So we encourage everyone to join us at that meeting. Let's see here. I will jump in quickly, 1 second, to festival planning. So we had a festival meeting last night. We are now in the phase of having weekly meetings up until the festival because it is just around the corner. The festival will be on Sunday, September 11th in Moeller Park from 12 to 6 p.m. We have so much going on this year that we're really excited about. First and foremost, if you know a vendor, whether it's a local business, a service, a nonprofit organization, a maker who would like to join us, we are taking applications through August 14th. So please send them to our website and have them apply. We do still have room and would love to welcome additional folks in. We will also be announcing soon the link to purchase the special limited run t-shirts this year. The logo for this year, of course, also designed by a Merion Village neighbor, and folks voted on what design we would be sharing. So stay tuned. You'll be able to do your pre-orders very soon, and pre-orders will then be able to be picked up at the festival. So very exciting there. We also have lots of silent auction stuff coming. Lots of local businesses have donated, which we really appreciate. If you represent a business and you might like to donate to that silent auction, reach out to us and let us know. You can just email festival@merionvillage.org. There's still time to get involved in that, and we'd love to add you to our silent auction baskets. We will also have a bike corral at the event sponsored by Bikes for All People. They will accept donations gratefully that day, but we'll be providing free bike parking and minor repairs. So if you need something quick just to get your bike in tip-top shape, they'll be taking care of it, and we're excited to have them back. So we are strongly encouraging folks to bike and walk when possible, as parking is always a bit limited in the area, and we appreciate everybody helping with that process. So
I think Jan is with us.
yes, wonderful. Janice, are you back with us?
I'm so sorry. Yeah.
No, it happens. Okay, well then I'm going to yield the floor back.
Okay. Well, I apologize. I have no visual presentation then. I don't know what you were able to see before I was dropped from the call, but basically we are on the owner occupant of 460, and we were just hoping to build a second story on top of our garage that is currently aligned to Zimfer Alley. And it is going to be used for office space or an additional guest room. So we have a 3-bedroom home, and we are a family of 4, so we are filled to the brim. And so we're requesting specific zoning for making a detached garage, a single family, or a dwellable unit, as well as the height of the garage. I think the current limit is 15 feet, and we would like to be just under 20 feet. And we would like to access it from the outside, which would mean an external staircase along one side, which would require a zoning exception for the east property easement. So the current home to the east is on and a little bit over the current property line, according to the most recent survey. So those are the 3 variances we're asking for. We do have a 2-family home across the alley from the garage, as well as on the east side of the garage. And we do not currently have elevations to show. We'll be reaching out for some drawings and design work as our next step. We wanted to make sure we had permission as far as zoning to go forward.
Perfect, thank you. Well, Tate's went ahead and just brought up the listing of variances on the screen so folks could kind of see that as you were chatting, so we appreciate that. Is there anyone that has any questions about the variances for this application? Okay, not seeing any hands raised. All right, it seems like this one also may have no questions, so going once, going twice. Okay, then we will move into the voting portion. So folks, this is the third time tonight. I think everyone knows the drill. As I call on your name, please just let me know if you'd like to support, oppose, or abstain from all of the items or individuals, and you can see those on the screen now. Tate, go right ahead.
Support all.
All right, was that a yes, Tate? You cut out just a little bit.
Oh, sorry, yes.
Okay.
Support all.
Thank you very much. Eric? Okay, Eric may have stepped away. Kevin Parzich?
Yes to all.
Thank you. Kyle Green?
Yes to all.
All right, Mike Pykuch?
Yes to all.
Thank you very much. See here, Rhoda Cooperschmidt?
Yes to all.
Steve David?
Yes to all.
Tom Less?
Yes to all.
Zach Rybar?
Supporting all.
Okay, and Eric, are you back? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes to all.
Yes to all. All right, let me just check here. Doesn't look like anyone new has joined us. So we have a total of 10 in favor, no opposed, and no abstentions. So this one moves forward as well.
I would like to just thank everyone and thank whoever ran over here to let me know to call in. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining us. Sorry about the technical issues. They do happen from time to time, but we appreciate you making it back.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. Well, that will conclude our zoning items for this evening. So thanks to all of those of you who participated and helped us get through that process. I'll pick back up where we left off on festival. Again, silent auction, bike corral. I'm going to let Tate talk briefly about the art project, and then I'm going to let Zach talk about volunteering.
All right. Sorry, guys, you're gonna be sick of me by the end of the night. Our project is going well. I'm working with ARC Printing to get together a clean so we can go on the info center. What we'll have is we're going to have multiple photographers there. We just closed applications and we got a total of 5, and I would say 5 really quality ones. So I'll be sharing those with the committee tonight, but I shared some information at last night's meeting. And I'm very excited. I think we can even have a videographer there to kind of take a rolling shot and some videos of it, and that way we can post that on our YouTube page and things like that. I think this will also be great for marketing materials in the future. So we'll have a little photo booth, and then at the end we'll have a collage. That's what I'm working with the printing shop, and they'll get a clean, and then we'll probably put on the info center on the window. And that way we can put all our pretty faces on that and show the great community that we are. I think that's all I have on the art piece. There'll be more information to come on that.
Thank you so much, Tate. All right, Zach, please let's go ahead and talk about volunteers.
Thanks, Tate and Jess, both. I'm very excited to be helping bring on, we need 57 volunteers to help run the festival. As I know it's been discussed before, I know most of the positions, almost all the positions are day of, so you're not making a long commitment. Most of the shifts only take 2 to 3 hours. Just drop the link. If you don't mind, I'm gonna screen share for 1 second. If you go to that link, oops, I'm not able to screen share. Never mind. If you go to that link, you're gonna see a long list of positions that need to be filled. We've broken them down into by time, so make sure to pay attention to what time you're signing up for. And we also broke them down, thank you, Jess, into shifts. So just know that there's a setup shift, there's an A shift, which is sort of a kickoff of the festival. There's a B shift, that's in the meat of the festival. And then you're gonna break down, there's a tear down shift. Something I know we wanna highlight are we need a few volunteer coordinator captains. So those will be our go-to folks to help sort of corral and make sure that all the volunteers that are needed are at the correct places. And if anyone volunteers have questions, you're able to direct them. You'll be in contact with me, I know, throughout the day to make sure that everyone's in the right spot. So if you're willing to give up a little bit more extra time and make a little bit more of a commitment, I would be happy to have you in that position. So yeah, please feel free to reach out. And Jess, I believe the email is volunteer at marionvillage.org.
That's it.
And we'd be happy to have you and looking forward to the festival.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Zach. This is always a big task for the festival each year because we require some serious volunteers in order to make this event happen. So we appreciate everyone. Thank you so much for coordinating, Zach. And thank you in advance to all of those of you who will be signing up for a shift or two. We're really excited about the festival coming back this year and cannot wait to make it our best one yet. Last thing I'll mention on the festival is, if you're familiar with festivals in the past, we do kind of a 50-50 auction, which is basically, or 50-50 raffle rather, which means we sell raffle tickets and whatever we make in sales, we split half of that with the winner. So it is both a fundraiser for the association and also an opportunity to win some cash from those who participate. For the first time ever, we will actually be hosting that online this year, and we will start the sale of those tickets in advance of the festival. So you'll be able to buy them leading up to the festival, and then of course day of, at which point when the festival ends at 6, the raffle will close and a winner will be drawn randomly from the system we are using. So very excited about that fundraising opportunity and for someone to get to win a 50-50 prize. So stay tuned for that. Look out for lots of notices over the next several weeks. You'll start to see door hangers popping up at your home here in a few weeks to advertise, and posters around the neighborhood. So tell your friends. And again, if you've got people who would like to vend, send them our way. Okay, Allison is not here this evening, but Radha is going to share kind of a recap of this year's garden tour, which was just last month.
I told her to text you. Well, I think the event went really, really well. All the volunteers were amazing. You could hear me okay, right? I just realized you could probably hear my TV in the background. I apologize. The volunteers were awesome. I think that's what made it so much more special. The gardens were absolutely amazing. You know, we had a really nice variety. I got a chance to see them all, which was awesome. The pedicabs were a big hit as always. The weather couldn't be lovelier. And I know that Allison was just so thankful for everybody who volunteered from a garden perspective, everybody who volunteered to help the event before and after. And I don't know that we could have asked for a better garden tour this year. And we actually, I think, even got some additional folks just through talking, not convinced, but kind of like planted some seeds for them to potentially apply next year. So anything else that will be helpful?
I think that was it. I just, Allison, as always, has been chairing this event for several years, and we appreciate it. She isn't here for us to tell her how much we appreciate her. So please pass that along.
Thank you. I will. But I know she is just so appreciative of everybody who can help, and just to be able to continue this great event/legacy that we have here. That's for free, which is awesome. And thanks for everyone that, I think, what did Eric just say? The people who were on the committee, right? Yes,
Best garden
the
tour
committee
ever.
was amazing. Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Radha. All right, guys, I'll work through the remaining items quickly so we can wrap up. I know this has been a bit of a longer meeting. Appreciate everyone being here. Again, we have our annual autumn yard sale coming up soon. So that's going to be on Saturday, October 1st from 10 to 3. That's normally a little bit smaller than our spring sale, but it's still a great time. Lots of really cool things around the neighborhood. So if you're looking to get rid of some things and sell a bit at a yard sale, go ahead and get signed up for that. Members can register for the map for free. We'll be launching it here in a couple of days. And if you're not a member, I mean, you should be, but if you're not, then you can sign up for the map for $5. We appreciate everybody participating in that event as well. This is, I think, the maybe 5th year that we've been doing the autumn sale. So excited to see that grow a bit every year. We have elections this November. We have elections every November, but this year the elections will be for president, vice president, which are both 2-year terms, and member at large, which is up for election every year. It's only a 1-year term. So if you are interested in serving on the MVA board in any of those roles, you can nominate yourself through our website form. Just head over to marionvillage.org, fill out the nomination form. You just need to be a current member of the association who lives here in the neighborhood in order to be eligible for a board seat. So we will be announcing the candidates for each position at our October meeting, and then the voting will actually happen in November. All right, let's see here. Committee updates. We don't have anything to share for beautification, nothing new for membership. We of course covered zoning. Mike, do you have a social this month?
I do, and sorry I'm not on camera because I'm being antisocial. We've decided for the month of August, the August 18th at 6 p.m. we'll be at the Cavan's Irish Pub, which is on South High Street in Jenkins on the river side of High Street. So I've actually never been there, so I'm really looking forward to experiencing it. I've heard it's pretty fun, and I heard they have a pretty nice patio, so hopefully the weather works out for us. So that's August 18th, 6 p.m. Hope we have as good a turnout as we did last month at South Bend, which was crazy. It was awesome. So looking forward to it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for continuing to organize these, Mike. And like South Bend at last month's happy hour, Cavan is a business member this year for the MVA as well. So we appreciate everyone supporting them, not only at our happy hour, but all year round. All right.
And, hey, Mike, just let you know, they reached out earlier and said, I think they're going to run an ad. I don't know what that means, but they said they're going to run an ad. So I don't know if that's social media or like, I don't know where people run ads at other than social media these days, but you know, maybe talk radio, who knows?
I love it.
And I'm sure we'll reshare their ad for them. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on. Tom, do you have anything that you want to share with us for the Southside Area Commission?
So we, like Merion Village, are doing elections this year. So that will require, in order to run for area commission, which we do have a few open seats. Actually, my seat is up, so you can certainly run against me if you don't like what I'm doing. And I'm sure Vicky will campaign for you, so you get a free campaign manager there if you do. But we have, I think, an education chair that's open and a couple other seats. If you're interested at all in serving on the area commission, feel free to reach out to me and I can get you that information. The packets, I think, will be available next month. You have to get 50 signatures from the area to be eligible to run, and then there is an election that occurs in November. So, you know, welcome to have more people on it, or, you know, have some competition, that's fine too. And that's about it. We're off for August. And the next big event will be looking forward to the festival.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Tom. Okay,
if you haven't attended yet, come to yoga on Saturdays.
Yes, good plug. I totally forgot to mention yoga. We're still doing yoga. We're doing it through September. So you still have a chance to go check that out if you haven't yet. I've heard nothing but extremely positive things. So if you're looking for a Saturday morning workout, we've got you covered. So let's see here. I'll quickly touch on this. We've kind of been throwing around the idea of maybe trying to do some type of event throughout the month of October to help get people to know more about our local businesses and support them. Maybe something that looks like a scavenger hunt or a passport event. We're kind of wanting to, again, launch an exploratory committee to see if that's something we could actually plan. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I'd love to talk to folks and see about getting some people signed up. Otherwise, I'll publish something on our social media and just see if there's some folks interested in helping to plan it. It would obviously take some definite planning, so we would not go into it lightly. Maybe it's something we couldn't do until next year, but if we could do something this year, I'm sure local businesses would appreciate it and be a really cool new thing for us to explore and get folks involved. So that is a potential on the docket as well. Otherwise, is there anyone, open floor, if anyone has anything they want to share, any questions, comments, anything coming up that you'd like folks to know about? No? Okay. I know this was a long meeting, everybody. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Obviously, we'll be back again next month. We hope everybody will join us. And otherwise, just stay tuned into social media looking for updates about the upcoming festival and all the things we have going on. So we appreciate you all. Thank you again for being here and have a wonderful evening.
Thanks, Jess. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Take care.